Once you study and master my trading continuation model, you will be able to achieve results such as 60% win rate at an average of 3 risk reward, which is absolutely insane. But let's get straight into the trade recap today, folks. We got 2 trades taken on September 1st on gold. Let's just go in replay mode here real quick so I can go back and show you guys the higher time frame, what I was really looking at. And to be honest, even without the higher time frame, it's pretty clear as day what setup this is, because again, this is my continuation model I talk about all the time, and basically almost every single one of my trade recaps, I'm taking some sort of continuation. So if you go into the higher time frame, it is quite messy. If you go to 1 hour, you can see everything is fully mitigated. I'm mainly looking at, again, like I said, candles near me when I'm on the higher time frame, because this is a lot of price action on lower time frame. There's no reason to be looking this far back down or this far up. All I know is we are clearly bullish on gold, so I'm mainly in favor of taking longs. If you go to the 30-minute, there's nothing here. 15-minute, there's nothing here. I think it was on just a 1 minute that I saw this. Let's see. So there's a 5-minute here. So we can mark this entire 5-minute PY right here. And this is going to be the 5-minute origin here. So here's the 5-minute origin. And if you go to the 1 minute, this is basically, I'm going to be honest, on this trade here, I really was just stuck on the 1 minute here, because everything else on the higher time frame, they gave me nothing. Like, there's no information on the higher time frame aside from just the directional trend, which is obviously bullish. And so the first setup I took was this first loss here. This, I believe, first loss was off of 5-minute PY. Yeah, so first loss was off this 5-minute here. Now, looking at the 5-minute, this is an awful PY to take a trade from, because this is your premium, this is your discount. This PY is basically right at the middle. If you draw the PY, it's actually above in premium, which is not ideal. You usually want a PY that is in discount if you're trying to long. Using my main strategy. And so in this case, this is just really not a good trade here, to be honest. If you're wondering what setup I took here, it was just an IFG setup using my indicator. Took an immediate loss, basically, as you can see. And you know, whenever you take an IFG setup and it mitigates an OB like this, such as this right here, you would tend to find yourself losing very quickly because your context is wrong. You're picking the bad PY. So understanding back testing and putting in the screen time to know which PYs to take, which ones to avoid, is also very important. Now, if you're on the 1 minute here, you can consider this a liquidity sweep or inducement. To be honest here, they both basically mean the same thing here, because again, I'm just looking for this PY right below here. Let me turn off the indicators real quick so you can see it a lot more clear. But this is what my setup really was, man. Just my continuation model. Like I said, we make inducement, we take out inducement, or if you want to consider this a liquidity sweep, you can consider a liquidity sweep. Tap into the origin PY right below. Wait for my entry model. We have an IFG inversion. Actually, do we? Let's see. No, we do not. So you always want to look for the extreme one in the internal leg. In this case, the internal leg is something like this, because we have bullish candles here. It's not the extreme. The extreme is like slightly above, based on from what I can see here. And so we did not get an inversion, but we did get a nice displacement candle here, which means just a candle that creates a good amount of movement in your direction that you're trading from. I took my OB entry model here with a limit order for this word. Again, give your stop loss some breathing room right below the lows, 4.1. Where is my TP? This is the easiest part of trading, to be honest. I feel the hardest part is just being more patient and doing your analysis before. But once you do your analysis before, it's just setting alerts at your PYs and then waiting for your entry model as confirmation and just taking it. And then a TP, very simple, man. We are obviously bullish, like I said, on the higher time frame. We took out this high already, but we are still bullish. We're still maintaining bullish structure. We created a nice liquidity sweep move already below these lows. We can continue higher now. There's no reason for us to really, to be honest, come all the way back down, let's say down here. We already have accumulation here. So you can consider this your accumulation period if you want. This is just something you can add as extra confluence in your trades if you want. It's not something really, to be honest, I really look for or specialize in adding it to my confluence. This is something you just notice, right? We have a lot of accumulation already. There's no real reason for price to come all the way back down here just to go higher, right? We have a new value, new range, and all I'm doing is waiting for a discount of the range, identifying that range, identifying good valid POI, waiting for my entry model, taking it, and just going for new highs because we're obviously bullish. That's literally my simple continuation model I trade every single day, and it makes me money. It does not get more simple than this. I mean, there's not much like discretion here, to be honest. There's no like thing where you can really mess up or doubt. Everything is fully mechanical here. This first setup, like I said, is just not a great loss I took, but it is what it is. Overall, ended me 3-year sword, and you can see everyone was talking about this in a Discord, but it absolutely pumped. Gold absolutely pumped. we went like 12 plus risk reward. So I missed out a ton. And this is something I obviously would journal if I was still journaling. And just making sure how I can maximize my winning trades. You want to maximize your winning trades and make sure your losing trades are at the minimum or at the maximum, just -1, because that's where your stop loss is usually at, unless you use my stop loss reduction strategy, which I also teach. I'm not going to talk about that here. That's just some sauce that I have in the Discord, in the course for those that paid. But that's basically just to sum up the trade recap. Now, one of you guys did request me to also add some stuff in the trade recaps as well, talking about like other C or like B quality setups. So you guys know I mainly focus on just taking A and A plus quality setups. The first one is obviously not really an A setup since it's bad range, but the second setup here is basically like if you consider this liquidity sweep as an A plus, if you consider this inducement, it's just an A setup continuation. But you guys did ask me to cover some C setups or potential B setups. So if I were to cover that, a setup you could take that I would consider is like B would be this right here. So as soon as we took out this high here, if I can get this close enough, you guys get the point. We took out this high here just by a tick, right? It still counts as getting taken out. As long as price is above it, it counts as getting taken out. Sometimes with sessions, highs and lows, what tends to happen is price does make equal highs and lows. That's a different story. I'm not sure entirely why, the reason why market does that, but it just does from my personal experience. A B setup would be taking this. So let's see, we have an inversion here. Let's see if I can go back and replay further. It might be able to show it with the indicators on. Let's turn on the indicators real quick. And another thing you can also use is the daily bias included in the ETU Elite Indicator package. So if I'm trading with my bias, my mechanical daily bias indicator, and it's in my favor, my trade is going to add more confluence to me taking that trade. Just from a statistical point of view, from my data, it shows it does improve my win rate. This is an example of a B setup. So you have IFG, as you can see. Again, I don't really do much drawing on my charts. I only do the drawings where I mark out flips, origins, just for you guys to see it visually, because I know some of you guys don't have your eyes trained at that level yet. So it's a lot easier for YouTube videos and tutorials to really just mark out everything for y'all. But for me, I just see it visually for the most times, or if my indicator draws it out, which it will, once it hits, it disappears. So that's what's going on here, for those that are wondering. But you can see we have IFG inverse here. This would be entry here. Stop loss depends on how aggressive you want to be. If you want to be right above IFG, you can be there. This is an example of like basically a B setup here. We took out a high when we're bullish. This is just a counter trend, 3.5 risk reward trade. So in this situation, yeah, you could have made a 3.5R and then a cash to 4R for 7 risk reward. Again, people think you can't make 7 risk reward within like, some people think you have to take a month to make 10 risk reward. This is the proof right here. You can make 7 risk reward within just, how long was this? This is just 1 hour of price action on a 1 minute time frame. This is why I love trading the 1 minute time frame. This is why I love trading the lower time frames. Not only can you potentially make more risk reward, but also you have higher trade frequency, which is what I need when you're trading full time. Because if you're only taking a few trades within a month, you can end the month. It's a lot higher chance for you to end the month red if you're only taking 2 or 3 trades, or even 1 trade swing trading. But if you're day trading, like what I do mainly, or scalping, which is some prime mentorship students actually just scalp, because their personality fits that. I talk to so many types of different people. People have different personalities in trading. We try to tailor at ETU as much as possible the trading system towards your personality. But anyway, enough of that rant here. This is just an example of a B setup. Since some of you guys did question and ask, really wanted to bring up me covering some low probability setups. That would be an example of a B setup. If I can find another example of a B setup, probably would be, there's actually a OB entry model here. I did not actually see this before, but there's an OB entry model right here too. This would be a B setup. Like a really bad thing to do in trading would be something like this, where you take this and you take this back to back within the same PY when it's already low probability. Most times when I'm taking back to back entry models within the same PY, it's like high probability PYs I'm looking at, not low probability like this, where we're in actually premium technically of this range. So that would be an example of a bad setup to take. It's not really invalid, but taking the second one kind of be basically invalid, because it's just like, why do that to yourself, Just why do that to yourself? Be more patient and wait for the higher probability setups. But aside from that, I can go over another potential B setup if I can see anything here. I'm not gonna cover much here. I mean, here is just basic continuations. Like I'm telling you guys, dude, what to teach y'all, it literally works like a charm to the tick. We sweep this low here. We actually did not sweep technically here. Actually, we made equal lows here. So there might be a PY here. There is an origin here. So this is your origin here. And then you have, what is this, 5 minute? Yeah, so 5 minute PY that did get hit here. So I think one of you guys actually took this off the 2 minute chart in the Discord server that you sent out in the winning trade setup within the course community. But this was a nice setup when you guys took, I think, for a 2 risk reward or 3 risk reward. If you want to talk about B setups, here's another setup you could potentially take. No trade here, no entry, no entry, no entry. This is not good, okay? Because your entry is basically right after price already took out inducement. Price is very close to already hitting its potential target. This is not really an ideal setup. You wait patiently for a retracement. Again, patience pays, guys. This is the 20 minutes of live price action you have to just sit and wait for. You can cover the buy to sell if you want, or cover an entire PY if you wish, or both of them. And then here's your target. You can just target the low if you want, just scalp, or even just target a one-to-one mitigation play. But essentially, this is an example of a B setup as well, because this is counter trend towards the market. But you'll later see the shorts obviously did actually play out very nicely all the way back down. But if I was taking this trade here, I would just be targeting honestly the next OB or PY, which is this premium or discount on the 5 minute. I believe this is the 5 minute, because I saw when some of you guys were trading this longs here, which is very nice, by the way. This is a nice 5 minute PY to be longing in discount. So yeah, some of you guys I saw in the Discord were taking this setup here for like 3 to 4 sword targeting. There's 2 PYs above here and here. So overall, very nice trades here. And then obviously from there, you can decide where directionally you want to trade, or you just want to close the session and end the day or session green. So if you guys do enjoy today's recap, man, if you want more of these, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, comment down below what was your favorite part of these trade recaps. What do you want to see more on my channel? Join the free Discord server down below. And if you are ready to change your life, join the course, join the mentorship, join the ETU team, learn my entire strategy from A to Z. There's a link down below for the mentorship and the course. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.